What's the tea today, everybody? We are joined by Lea Robinson. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Hi, everyone. It's a beautiful day. Madonna, take us away.
Oh, well, hey, Ryan, Lee, it's just so great to have you on again. I think you made me cry about 6 times last time you did the show with us. And because I'm so moved by your work and your activism and your talent. Lee is part of our show and Silence to Solidarity. I'm not going to say what they're doing in it, but they are a brilliant actor and human being. So, Lee, thank you for joining us. Thank you for, every single person on the concert is donating their time, love, and energy. And we are raising money for Interpride. But when we raise money for Interpride, we're raising money for the world because the world needs our help, particularly in the global South, Eastern Europe, and in other hostile environments in Africa and around the world. So, uh, what we're doing is bringing awareness to Enterprise's work, telling you about our funding, where the funds go, talking about where some of the funds have gone during COVID when folks were, not able to produce their events. And some had to shutter their doors, and we're hoping to help people get back on their feet again. So, Lee, enough about me. Tell me about you. What are you up to? Why did you join the concert with us?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be a part of this. This is such an important cause. This has been a huge part of my own activism throughout my life. Being a queer little Black kid growing up in Kentucky, I've always felt out of place. I've always felt different. I've always felt like I needed some sort of additional support. And I have a great family background. I've had a great family, and a lot of support from my family. And as an adult, I just knew that it's important. It's always important to give back, to be active, to use your voice. We don't always have the privilege, right, of being able to be visible and to be vocal and to be active around things. So anytime I have an opportunity to really, stand up and be visible and vocal, it's part of my role. I see it as a part of my reason to be here on the planet, and I see it as part of my responsibility. And I'm just grateful for different types of platforms like this one to be able to do that.
Well, you are a bright light on this planet, my friend. Thank you for that. And, I think that's why everybody came together for this so generously. We had, you'll see folks on the camera, you'll see folks, we have music, we have messaging, we have really great messages. And we have, what else? We got just a lot going on there, and we are asking for donations. We need donations. Listen, I said my goal was $50,000. I just upped that to $250,000
Oh,
because Ryan, talk about where that money goes. Talk about what $1,000 does.
That's the important part to really wrap your head around and to quantify and understand that $1,000, keep in mind, $1,000 can evacuate 4 people from Ukraine. That's what $1,000 means right now in a war situation over in Ukraine. So that's 4 people that could be evacuated with a car. So it's up to us as a community to try to do our part to offer that support during a time of desperate need.
mhm.
It's this time of desperate need that we have to pull together to try to help our friends, our family, our loved ones that are going through horrific circumstances right now in Ukraine, the global South, and $1,000 can save 4 lives. That's how serious this is.
Mhm.
That's right. And I believe Matthew Van Oz yesterday said, our one of our producers who's been working on the show from South Africa, said, you know, our dollars in the U.S., when we give in the U.S., the dollars globally go a lot further. You know, they can do a lot more in these countries where they need help with $1. You know, so you know, there's no donation too big or too small, and we will appreciate anything you can do to help us reach those goals. Lee, I'd love to talk about, because I think there's some interesting, you're working on some interesting projects. Do you want to talk about what you can say about A League of Their Own
Yeah.
and Twinkies?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, something that's coming out later this summer, late summer, maybe into the fall, which is a rumor, so we're not 100% sure, but it's out there, like that. A League of Their Own. Really excited. It's an Amazon piece, Sony, and it really just it's a perfect role for me. First of all, it's a perfect role for me as a trans, non-binary person of color, right? I feel like there aren't a lot of opportunities that are specific for, I mean, we're actors, so we know how to act. There may be times where there's a role that might not quite fit and we figure it out and we get to play, right? We get to play with another person or another identity, or like play with a role. This role was one that was very near and dear because it was something that I could step into and it was a perfect fit for me. It was an amazing experience. I remember when I first got the call, when Robin was like, "Hey, here's this audition," and it was like that was the beginning of this roller coaster ride of the potential of this role, the potential of being a part of something in the industry that's huge, right? This type of visibility, this type of role, this type of voice is huge
Yes.
right now, right? So this idea of being able to go into this role and to play this role and to bring this character to life was amazing. Again, there's not much more I could say about it. It takes place in the 1940s. It's a Black trans non-binary character in this show, and it's just going to be fantastic. I think as a show it's going to be great. I think folks are going to really enjoy it. And it's just A League of Their Own is one of my favorite movies, so that
Yes,
to be a
yes.
part
Oh,
of
it's so
it.
great. And to your point, I mean, you know, I've been in this business a long time. My wife and I both, as an actor, and my wife is a talent manager as well. And just seeing, you know, I went to work here about literally 20 years ago. I went to work for a talent manager as an actor. I wanted to learn how they do cast roles and how the breakdowns work and all of that for everything. And it's really changed. And I will say it's because people do not accept the status quo anymore. You cannot say we need a white person for this role. The breakdowns are we need somebody, you know, a trans, non-binary, person of color, you know, and seeing that finally, and I hate to praise it because it should have happened a long time ago, but we're going in the right direction there. And I think that we just keep yes, representation matters, and it's important in every aspect of our lives. And when you see it, especially in the media, if you see something on film or television that shows you that
Yeah,
reflect you, I think that's very important.
yeah, absolutely. I also just wanted to add that we had an opportunity to be on Lena Waithe's show 20s, and as a non-binary, the call was for like a non-binary reverend, and I had a chance to play the role of a non-binary Black reverend, and it was such an important piece and was such an important part of the show. The main couple that was navigating this thing around sexuality and religion, and it was just such an opportunity. And something that was amazing that happened afterwards was, after it aired, I had a couple of text messages and messages from people that I knew, and also people I didn't know, who lived like in the South, and who were like, "I've never seen anything like this. This was so important. This was so important." And just some of the conversations that were happening within the Black community around those episodes. And I just think that's so important. That work is so important. And it was not only a great show, but it was also an opportunity for education, dialogue, and
Yes,
conversation. And I hope that that's what A League of Their Own is as well.
yes. uh, it's very important, and it's incredible that, you know, well, it's great that it's finally being recognized in this industry that we are so incredibly diverse, and from from movies like Coda, where deaf folks are taking away awards, and I'm so ecstatic about that, and seeing, we've got a lot more work to do in diversity in film and television, but thankfully we're on the right track, I think, and a lot of people are invested in making it better.
Absolutely. It's a great time. It's a great time to be a part of
It comes
Yeah.
down to leadership. It comes down to the leadership positions. You have to have people that look like you in those leadership positions. And this is something I will continue to push for, that we need to elevate the voices of those that struggle, that have a voice, and put them in leadership positions so they can make these logical, long overdue, good decisions for putting people of color in these key roles.
it. Right.
100%.
100%.
Well, I think we'll see a lot of, you know, we have a lot of diversity in our show, a lot of global diversity, and we're incredibly excited to share what we've all been working on and what you all so generously donated your time and talent to. We can't thank you enough for that. Was there anything else you wanted to knock out of the park, Ryan Starzik?
Oh wow, there's so much. Well, Leah, I can't thank you enough for being part of this magic, part of this experience. We are so honored to have such a diverse group of amazing talent participate in this, one-time broadcast. I want to emphasize that it's a one-time broadcast. So everybody needs to make sure that they watch it tomorrow at 2 Pacific. Tomorrow at 2 Pacific, please. It's also 100% volunteer made.
100% volunteer made, which means that the money goes to the folks around the globe. All of your donations, and let me just, specifically say that we have over 300 members in 65 countries that are members of Enterpride, and two of those members are in Ukraine, Kharkiv Pride and Kiev Pride, and they are going to receive a portion of these proceeds. We've got to help our brothers, sisters, and siblings around the world to get to safety. And that means, yes, we're incredibly invested in helping Ukraine, but we're also incredibly invested in helping everybody around the world who we can possibly reach, who's part of our family. And so we have three funds. One is the Solidarity Fund, which is specifically, it's global, but it specifically focuses on the global South in Eastern Europe and hostile environments. And then we have the Legacy Fund, which is more of an emergency humanitarian funding. And then Scholarship Fund, which goes to our membership, because folks don't always have, there are bigger prides and smaller pride organizers. There's some who do a picnic in a park for 200 people, and then there's something like LA, New York, San Francisco, and other European prides. In Australia, Sydney would have bigger blowout parties and celebrations. But we're here to support all of those organizers so that they can create safe and brave space around the world, and they can have a place to go to celebrate who they are and to fight for our rights, to continue to fight. And that's what we all have to do. We just can't let up. We have to keep going.
Absolutely.
We absolutely do.
Do you have any parting words for us, Lee? Anything you'd like to add before we?
Yeah, specifically around this event, I just want to encourage folks to just donate. Donate. No amount is too small, no amount is too big. And if you don't have anything that you can donate, like I've said before, donate your time, right? Pass it on, tell others about it. It takes all of us to do this work, and not everyone has the money to donate money, but we can also figure out different ways of donating our time and our energy and our care to this process, because it's important and it saves lives. So I would just like to say, thank you all so much for having me on. I'd like to encourage folks to do whatever that they can. It's happening tomorrow. It's going to be great. Tune in. And let's just continue to make this magic and do this work that's incredibly important for our survival.
Yeah,
It's our survival.
for our survival. I'd like to also thank our collaborative partners, Reverie, with whom we're streaming on Reverie, on their app, on their YouTube channel, and on their Samsung TV Plus channel, as well as Enterprise Facebook. And anything else, Ryan, where we're streaming?
Twitch.
And Twitch. Yes. And then we also like to thank Happy Socks. We love Happy Socks. And our friends at TripAdvisor, our friends at Digital Realty, all these folks came in to help us raise money and help me reach my goal tomorrow of $250,000 so we can do some real good around the world. And I think we can do this.
Let's go. Let's go.
If you want to help, if you're looking for just help the people in Ukraine, here's one way in which you can do that specific to the LGBTQIA2+ community. And if you want to help folks anywhere around the globe in our community, please donate. I promise you this money goes to where it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, we've got a lot of streams lined up today. So I'll see you soon. I can't wait. We're going to have all kinds of interviews. It's fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much